Welcome to another episode of Core Top Tens. My name's Legacy.
And I'm Max.
I'm Bobby.
Bobby J.
Big Joshy.
All right. Well, welcome to another Monday as we discuss another lovely one of our top tens list. So this is a topic that I believe Max was the one who kind of brought it up. It is top 10 best movie speeches. So the question is, what defines a movie speech? Because you could ask, well, what about monologues? Because those are somewhat speeches. We did say they do have to have some type of audience. They cannot be just talking to themselves. It is fine if the audience is completely broadcasted, like if it's a television speech, that is still a speech. We did say there just needs to be some type of audience. It has to somewhat come off with most of them, like kind of rehearsed, like they probably rehearsed this and then just come off the cuff. Those are kind of the parameters, and we broke it down to all types of movies. Gentlemen, are you ready?
Let's get it.
All right, so we had actually a tie. Ninth place was tied, both coming in with 16 points. The first one we are going to talk about is from a movie that many of us like. It's from a trilogy. It actually involves one of our favorite comic book characters as he talks about the establishment and talks about creating anarchy. It is The Dark Knight Rise, the Blackgate prison speech.
You have been supplied with a false idol to stop you tearing down this corrupt city. Blood will be shed. The police will survive this great city. It will endure.
Who voted for this?
I voted for this.
Max, you, and the Mountain for the three.
Give me your best Bane voice.
Okay. This city, it will endure.
Behind you stands a system of oppression.
Is that all this episode's going to be? Impressions or
Yeah.
speeches? Because this is going to be awesome.
There will be.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're just all reenacting the speeches we voted for. Yeah, I just like the way he says words in there. And I mean, it does work in the movie, you know, with him exposing the corruptness in Gotham.
To bounce off of what you're saying, I think it really came into play what happened at the end of Dark Knight, them basing the Dent Act off of a lie.
A good speech has some good quotes in it, and this has nothing but good quotes.
Yeah, it's very quotable.
Oh yeah. You ain't making this list unless you got some good quotes in
They
there.
do a good job of like painting the police department in a bad light. Yeah, because it could definitely, like, you can see yourself, like, if you watched his speech, like if you're a citizen of Gotham, you'd be like, maybe he's got a point. Then he blows off the bridges, and then you're like, oh, well, that's not good.
Like, oh, he's not some, and then he has a bomb rolling around the city.
Yeah, that's not good. Another line is like, there's a fallen idol.
Everything he said was pretty much a good quote, you know? It's almost impossible to do a Bane line without doing it in his voice.
Yeah, so what tied it was another great speech coming in very low. I'm a little disappointed in several of you guys. It comes at a very important part in the movie, and you feel the emotion raging from this coach as he is telling his team he doesn't want them to gain another yard. It is the Remember the Titans. It is the speech by Coach Yotes. I put it as the remember the night they played the Titans.
I don't want them to gain another yard. You blitz all night. And if they cross the line of scrimmage, I'm going to take every last one of you out. You make sure they remember forever the night they played the Titans.
Myself, Bobby, and Big Joshy were the only ones who voted for it.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. When I was doing my research, this didn't pop up, so I forgot about it.
You know, that's a shame on the internet. That's the
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to double check your sources there. I have Remember the Titans as number one because there's like way too many speeches in the film to like just take up space on my list. So I just put it at number one. So there's probably a lot of speeches in that movie that might pop up. So I'm just going to say the same thing. That speech was great. Like, it came, like Phil said, at the most pivotal part in the film. Like, because they need to win this game for Superman. All right, because I'm about to get choked up just talk about it.
Man, the ref was screwing them, man. The ref was screwing them.
Yep.
Look, if I was on that defense after that speech, I'm doing everything I can to make sure they don't gain another yard.
It was beautiful. It was a lot of hard hitting after that. It was a montage of nothing but hard hits. No sound, but hard hits. And if you're a football fan, you gotta love it.
And I love it when he said, "And may they remember."
Oh yeah.
To age myself, I was 10 years old when I first saw that, and I was hyped right after that. Let's go.
Okay, Coach, I'm ready.
It inspired a great comeback. Good moment in the movie.
It was beautiful.
He told them what they needed to hear, and they got it done. So I loved it. I loved it.
On the off chance you haven't seen it, please do yourself a favor and go watch the movie. So we're going to go into our next one. There's another tie at 7th place. Again, one of these, I'm really one of them I expect them to be low. The other one, I'm really disappointed in the rest of you guys. It comes in with 18 points. We are going to another sports movie. It is, again, not given by the main character, but one of the troublesome young men in this movie, as he kept being asked this question and finally gave the answer as the coach was leaving. He said, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate, but is that we are powerful beyond measure." So it is Coach Carter, deepest fears.
Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Sir, I just want to say thank you. You saved my life.
It was good. I'll give you that. It was really good.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never seen Coach Carter.
Bruh, get out. Get out. No, leave. Leave. Just maybe you can come back, bro.
What are you doing with your life?
Coach Carter it's not the film that introduced me to Sam Jackson, but I feel like it's one of his best films that is on his list. And, he kept, like Phil saying, he kept asking him the question, "What is your deepest fear, young man?" Because these kids in this film, they don't have any real male role models, positive male role models. So, Coach Carter's not only being a coach, but a mentor and almost like a father figure to these young men. And this one Timo Cruz, he's a bad kid. Coach Carter gets him right. And for him to give that speech at the end, answering the question with the quote, it was just real emotional. I think I started crying when I saw it the first time. I like how at the end of the quote, he thanked Coach. He's like, "I just want to thank you. You saved my life." I was like, ooh, because he did. He saw his cousin die right in front of him. Not spoil the movie for those who haven't seen it. Max. I was like, I felt that. And he also he stood up in front of everybody, like the whole team, all the other teachers, because they were during the lockout. But he stood up in front of everybody and said that, and I really felt highly. So actually, Coach Carter for me came at number 1, I think, because of that.
All right, guys, look, I promise you, I will watch the movie. Okay.
All right, we're gonna go with what tied with it. This is another inspirational speech as we switch off of sports into another big battle, where in this main character gives this epic speech of "Run and they may live," and he reminds them about they can take their lives, but they cannot take our freedom. It is Braveheart.
You've come to fight as free men. What will you do without freedom? Will you fight? Fight and you may die. Run and you'll live. To train all the days from this day to that for one chance, just one chance, to come back here and tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom.
One of the
I did not have that on my list. Oh
yeah. Clearly, I don't know how. This is in 7th.
No.
Like a lot of you put it kind of low. Like, are you serious?
Even I have Braveheart on my list, Bobby. Come on.
I think Braveheart's last on my list.
I always imagine like the people in the back row. It's like, what's he saying? I can't hear him.
It's a good speech, but don't get me wrong. I've only seen Braveheart once. I'm not gonna lie. So I got
really watch, man.
Yeah, I got one take on a good speech, like a really good speech. Like, I'm sorry. Yeah. It made the list, but barely.
When you watch the movie, it's like, man, that's so ill-advised what he's doing. I would advise against it, but Wallace was gung-ho about it.
But that he inspired them to go and fight for their freedom. I mean, I've only watched the movie like 3 times. I still love watching that speech because it's just when he starts about his name is William Wallace, and the whole like how it builds up, like he's ready to inspire his troops to ready to go and battle against the English. It's one of the best written speeches. I was ready. I would have been ready to go into battle as well if I was on the front line and could hear him. Yeah.
Front few rows, you're getting pumped up. If you're in that back row, you're just going with the crowd.
You ready for that one chance? Mm-hmm. Just one chance.
Mm-hmm. Though, also watching those movies, I'm like, thank God I was not born back then, because the way, like, I'm not saying like with war, but like at least now I'm not. Okay, this is gonna sound horrible. Like, can you imagine getting hit by some of the stuff, like that little metal ball and getting hit in the face, and that's how like some of that stuff is like gruesome. Of like, God, I would hate to die. Like,
speaking of gruesome, you want me to read to you how Wikipedia says he died? Yes, you do. Okay, so he was hanged, drawn and quartered, strangled by hanging, but released while he was still alive, emasculated, eviscerated, beheaded, and then cut into 4 parts.
Bro, what does emasculate mean? So you cut off.
I think
you know what it means.
In the movie, they did show some of that.
Yeah,
except for the obviously
they ain't show all of it.
They're not going to show on a movie.
We're not going to show that. Okay.
They said he was cut up because I remember they said something about they put his head somewhere as a.
They put it on a pike.
Yeah, they say it. The guy says it at the end of the movie of like they put his head on a pike as a warning to the Scottish about if they do this.
Bro,
and then they did.
I mean,
they must have.
They really wanted to send a message of his death. Like, we are gonna let everyone know.
They did worse than like Gaddafi, man. Man.
But I mean, it had the opposite effect because Scotland actually was inspired by it. So that kind of didn't work out. So all around, great speech, great time in the another motivational speech. William Wallace, and yes, I know, but I always like to feel and think in my head he actually said that, even though I know he probably didn't. But I like to believe that.
I think he did something similar. He did deliver a speech.
I'm sure it was a riveting engagement. I'm sure he did a great job.
We're going to our next movie that did not come in the tie. This is straight out the 6th place movie. It was voted on by everybody but myself and Big Joshy, coming in with 19 points. It is the most recent movie that makes our list. It is the Joker speech on The Murray Show.
If it was me dying on the sidewalk, you'd walk right over me. I pass you every day and you don't notice me. How about another joke, Murray? What do you get?
I don't think so.
When you cross a mentally ill loner with a society that abandons him and treats him like trash.
Call the police,
I'll
Gene.
tell you what you get.
Call the police.
You get what you deserve.
Yeah, it wasn't on my list, but it probably should have been. Now that I'm thinking about it, because that was a really good speech.
Watching that scene, I'm like, he just wrapped up Best Actor.
It's like you could see just how like deranged he was in that scene. It was such a good acting job by Phoenix.
The build up to it, like him going down the stairs. Of course, I'm talking. Like it just brings it all in, for the feeling of Joker, because you never actually see him with the face paint or the suit or the hair and like that coming down and then going to the show, getting ready. It was like all together. That speech was just it was a moment. It was momentous.
Good little boys.
Yeah, what I really like about the scene is like how the music ramps up. That really sets the tone.
He makes a point, how society walks all over certain people. And you think, as Matt said during that speech, like he has a mental illness and he's supposed to pretend like he doesn't have it.
And you could really see like how they portrayed Gotham. Just like the whole crime, right? It was just bad. It was like slum bottom, So of course, what are you going to expect? Yeah, you push the people so far. What do you expect is going to happen? A revolution.
Revolution.
Yeah, just get what you deserve.
Everybody was truly awful these days.
I'm telling you, man, that performance, that was one of the best acting performances in the scene I've seen in a while.
I was not expecting him to just come out and just pull like De Niro like that. I was trying to see if they were gonna do something from the comic books of how he killed the audience. But,
the gas. That's what I thought too.
Yeah, I was hoping for that. But no,
Nope.
I was not expecting just a straight bullet to the head. So that speech truly put it all together. It was like his at that moment he was finally and then forever will be the Joker after that.
What did you guys have it on your list?
I'll tell you.
5.
I had it 8.
So Vitamin J had it 5th, D3 had it 7th, The Mountain had it 5th, and Max had it 8th.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, I would have replaced it with Braveheart. I would have put that in there. Now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't remember.
Well, I just like it also because he is speaking to the camera as well, so this does count as a speech. But he's talking about how society has treated him as an outcast, whereas others are put on a pedestal. So he's just talking about the inequality in the world, and you can see throughout the whole thing it just build up inside of him.
And he's not wrong. Like he truly isn't wrong. It's because we just spent a whole weekend caring about millionaires in a submersible, you know. so still rings true. I mean, it's playing out in real life.
It was good. It was probably just outside my list, but it was really good commentary on society. Will it be the last commentary on society that makes our list? Maybe, maybe not.